We're gonna take a look at Nickelodeon's darkest holiday Christmas special. It's that time of year where we gather with our family, putting up a tree and overspend on stuff we won't need after like 2 days. Growing up, I remember TV being something special during this time of year. All of the programming had their own Christmas holiday specials, and even the commercials had their own hand in it. It felt like the networks were going above and beyond to make their channels feel like an extension of our home. And holiday specials was something you could constantly rely on, as if you make a good holiday special, you're basically immortalized for all time. Even if I'm not going back and watching Zack and Cody all the time, every year I throw on their holiday escapades at the Tipton Hotel. And while SpongeBob isn't in my constant viewing rotation anymore, you bet your best dollar I'm throwing on the episode where Santa comes to visit. The Billy and Mandy episode where they go to the North Pole and save Christmas, unironically has one of my favorite holiday songs that I sing all the time.
We're off to save Christmas, off to save Christmas.
Holiday specials always hit. There was something so special about TV during this era. It's something that streaming is so desperately missing, and I hope we can go back to a form of that someday. Look, to be honest, cable was kinda based sometimes. But there is one holiday special throughout the years that has always stuck with me. Because when I think about those special times, I think about how festive they are. The cheerful and warm energy that these shows can provide, even with their characters playing in the snow or gathering around a warm fire. Maybe there's even a musical number for a show that never has them. And when I think of specials, cheerful is the word that comes to mind. So who at Nickelodeon decided warfare was the right way to go for their Christmas special? This one is so burnt into my brain throughout the years because it feels like the complete opposite of what a Christmas episode should be. But as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate that that's what makes this one so special out of the bunch, as it's one of the darkest holiday specials I have ever seen. Like, does that even sound right? Dark holiday special? Yeah, it's nuts. And we're gonna take a gander. But before I get into it, let me know in the comment section below. Do you have a favorite holiday special? One that you always throw on when the weather gets nice and cold. Personal favorites for me were mentioned earlier, like Billy and Mandy. Over the Garden Wall is another one that is constantly a rotation the moment I have to throw on a sweater. Also, Home Alone is an absolute classic. Not putting this on every year feels like it would be against the law. And while you're down there, please be sure to hit that like button. It's the season of giving, and the best thing you could give me this year is a lot of likes. I know we're on a budget this year, and it's free. Trust me, it'll make me smile. Good luck to all of y'all out there this holiday season. So out of all the Nickelodeon shows from back in the day, I feel like this one is the most slept on. Fairly Odd Parents continues to get new series and updates throughout the years. Jimmy Neutron is still considered a cult classic. We don't talk about Planet Sheen. Avatar: The Last Airbender is considered one of the greatest works of fiction, period. And SpongeBob. Everyone knows about SpongeBob. Even when the sun engulfs the planet, there will be a single SpongeBob plush floating through the cosmos. The sponge is truly immortal. But more people need to be talking about My Life as a Teenage Robot. This is almost never mentioned amongst the greats for Nickelodeon, and that's a colossal mistake. For all the wee lads out there, My Life as a Teenage Robot was an animated series that followed a superhero teenage girl robot named XJ9, as she balances her day-to-day of saving the world while also trying to be a normal teenage girl. Created by Rob Renzetti, it ran for 3 seasons. And she had all these crazy gadgets in her arsenal that she was changing into in real time. I really like how it broke her down piece by piece whenever she pulled one of these out. The art style for the show also stuck out so much from others at the time, with these sharp edges for the characters and the backgrounds. Very much had this early 1900s animation look to it, which I always appreciated. It even got to a point where the episodes started building to bigger plot lines. Like that whole event with Jenny thinking about her place in the world, potentially leaving her loved ones behind to live on a planet full of robots. It's one of Nickelodeon's best shows out there. And like a lot of shows during the 2000s, it also received a holiday special. The season 2 episode titled A Robot for All Seasons, releasing back in 2004, making this episode 20 years old. Oh my goodness, I felt myself wither into dust a little bit on the inside reading that. That's crazy.
Well, it's only 30 years old. I remember seeing this in theaters.
Yes, you're old, who cares?
The first act plays out how you would expect an act 1 of a special like this to go. Santa Claus has been hurt by a mysterious accident, so Jenny steps up in place of Santa to deliver toys all around the world. We get this sick Jenny Santa design as she's exploring the globe. Like I said, her looks really go all over the place. All of her friends and her mother are present at the North Pole for moral support, and Jenny does a good job in making sure all of the kids get their gifts that they wanted. Everything seems fairly normal. There's even a holiday number as they celebrate their successful night.
We're spending Christmas with Santa, we've never felt so gay.
Me too. Overall though, it seems like everyone is having a good time. Next day, the gang heads over to the mall, and I just gotta gush about the backgrounds here again. The design of the shops dripped out with all of the Christmas decorations. The colors really pop and go well with one another. I'm also just a huge fan of the font on these shops. I just love all of this. Anyway, Jenny sees a boy named Todd who is having a miserable time at the mall. Feeling bad for Todd, Jenny offers herself up for a day as a gift to him, being able to play with Todd and overall just pick up his mood. Friends are a little skeptical, but they go along with it anyway. Now, this is when the episode starts to take a turn, as all that positive holiday cheer is replaced with a looming feeling of dread. Turns out Todd comes from a pretty wealthy family, picking up Jenny with his family's limousine. And when they get there, he lives in a giant mega mansion. But Jenny, being the kind robotic soul she is, begins to empathize with Todd as he's been alone in this giant house. No family or anything. He comes back with an antenna device and puts it right on Jenny's head. I'm sure this will be fine. Thinking it's just a toy, Jenny goes along with it. He even has a room dedicated to all the toys he's ever gotten. But turns out all Todd has ever wanted was weapons. And now he has the ultimate weapon of all. Using the antenna, Todd knocks out Jenny and she falls to the floor. After a quick reboot, Jenny tries to make her escape from the mansion, only to be tailed by all of the active servants. Jenny is able to escape and returns back to civilization. But turns out everyone is afraid of her. Every encounter Jenny has on the streets is replied with a quick fear response. Even Tuck, one of Jenny's oldest homies, runs away in fear. Well, technically slides in reverse in fear, but you know what I mean. This is hilarious, by the way. It even gets to a point where all of the locals, including her friend Brad, begins to pelt her with snowballs in an attempt to short circuit her. Right here, this was an attempt of a friend trying to take her out. Did I mention that this was supposed to be a holiday special? She flees from the scene, damaged and confused with what is going on, thinking returning back to her home will bring her salvation. If anyone in this world could help her, it has to be her mother.
Maybe Mom will know what's going on. Mom?
There's no way! Her mother having a blueprint design of the next daughter in line is insane. Imagine being a child and coming in and your family is actively plotting your replacement. You already know things are about to go south. Nora's even scared, slowly backing away and triggering a trap for her own child, calling the police as she has Jenny suspended in the air on a giant magnet. Jenny, being fully heartbroken, cannot believe her own mother would turn on her. Remember, family Christmas special. Jenny breaks free and is now being pursued by the police. We get some pretty dope action sequences of Jenny fighting back. I'm a big fan of when she pushed the missile back inside of where it came from, but the cops are not letting up. Jenny, now damaged and bruised, is on the run from the authorities, cutting up between the buildings. The lighting in this show during this sequence is just so nice. The purple and orange give this feeling of uneasiness, which is perfect for this moment where she's literally on the run. Also, this low rent sign in the background gave me a little chuckle. Honestly, the background folks for these sequences, I hope you were awarded for your work because it's so nice on the eyes. Then, oh, and this right here is so bold. Jenny gets to a point where she can no longer run. The cops have caught up to her and she is out of options. The camera cuts to a slow zoom of a battered and broken XJ9 with the biggest look of fear in her eyes. And then they cut to commercial. Imagine seeing one of the most traumatizing sequences you have ever seen. This girl is literally running for her dear life, and then you get hit with this.
Truck's back and it's better than ever. Flying sky high this year. The Truck's here.
Oh my god. That's one of the hardest and cruelest cuts to commercials I have ever seen. When we come back, we're following some of the police officers, and this joke is so silly, but it killed me. Like, I could not stop laughing.
Nice shooting, Lieutenant. We won't have to worry about that washing machine anymore.
The sass on this police officer is everything. We return back to Jenny, who eventually finds her friend Sheldon, and Sheldon is the only one who's acting kindly towards her, as he reveals that Jenny has been under mind control from Todd for over a year. Ever since last Christmas when she went to Todd's mansion, she's been actively destroying every holiday throughout the year. And we get this montage of her just being so disrespectful to everyone's joy, going through each holiday and cooking them in the most creative ways possible. This is full-blown hater energy. And because of this, now everyone hates Jenny. First off, being told you've basically been a weapon of mass destruction for the last year against your will is insane. Not only that, but all of your loved ones, including your own mother, now hate you. It does kind of bum me out that Sheldon is the only one to see how strange this behavior is. Even her own mother didn't come to the conclusion that it might be a mind control thing. Bad mom energy, Nora Wakeman. Finding out the truth, Jenny pulls up on Todd to get to the bottom of things. For Todd to reveal that his family took a vacation and basically never returned. And because of it, he wants to ruin all of the holidays, with Christmas being the biggest one of them all. Todd knocks out Jenny again as he plans to use her for a siege on the North Pole to take out Santa. Jenny is not having a good time. I'm sure this is not the Christmas special she imagined. We even cut to the B plot of this episode where Brad and Tuck are plotting to take out Jenny. Tuck even gets a gun labeled the Robot Herder. Like, they were really out for blood.
But not Christmas.
We also get more information on Todd's previous Christmas attempts, where he mentions even having a conflict with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Like, how is this one of your ops? But more importantly, he's the reason that Santa is all beat up at the start of this episode. Thus begins Todd's siege of the North Pole. I love when Todd pulls up, the North Pole is basically ready for action. Elves running to the front lines, diving out of the snow, using toys as weapons to fight back. I love that they used a Mr. Potato Head here. Like, look at this front line. They even have Christmas-themed mechs. Like, these guys were not messing around. Then we get a massive fight scene of Jenny just tearing through these guys. They put up a good fight for a while, but it's all futile.
Thank goodness we have elf insurance.
I'm an old man now, I can appreciate this joke. After breaking through, Jenny now has to face the final boss, Santa Claus. I feel like throwing hands with Santa Claus is something that immediately gets you thrown into the bad place. And we see Santa really putting the hands back on her. Like she's a super mech basically, and Santa is giving her the work. Not for long though, as Santa has finally fallen. Todd, making his grand reveal to Santa, plans to take him out, so no one could ever have a Merry Christmas again, only for Jenny to grab him from behind and foil all of his plans. Turns out Sheldon disabled the device before Jenny came here, and she's been pretending to be controlled to fool Todd so he can admit his plans to Santa. So that's an interesting thought, because that means that Jenny was fully aware when she was doing this. That's crazy. And to punish Todd for all of his bad deeds, Jenny gives him a spanking. It was really a different time, let me tell you. After this battle, all of the toys in Santa's workshop have been destroyed. And as an idea, they plan to give away all of Todd's toys to those without gifts this year. And after giving a gift, Todd breaks out of his former depressed shell and reforms into a positive child backed with the Christmas spirit. And his parents come back, stating that they were gone for so long because they were looking for the perfect gift for their son. Okay, first off, these people need to be put in prison immediately. Outside of all the child neglect, do you know how many holidays your son has ruined? Probably millions of dollars in property damage. Not to mention the ethical implications of enslaving someone's mind. Yeah, get them all out of here. Even Sheldon gets a kiss for his undying loyalty, so good for him. And we close out our holiday shebang with another special song.
We're spending Christmas with Jenny, and we've never felt so gay.
Ah, yes. So yeah, that was a lot. There's so much destruction and violence for this to be a Christmas special. It's really only cheerful for the opening bit, but it takes such a dark turn. Just the thought of making the plot about your friends turning on you during the most together time of the year is pretty mad genius, I'm not gonna lie. And I think that's why this special stuck with me for so long, because it's so massively different than anything else. I also don't remember it airing that much after a few times. I feel like this one isn't in the rotations as often because of how intense the source material is. Like you'll go from SpongeBob and Patrick singing a song about a Christmas tree to cut to Jenny running for her life, still being a Christmas special. But yes, did you ever see this one when you were growing up? Is this the first time you're hearing about this? Yeah, there was an era where Nickelodeon was not messing around. It's easily one of the darkest holiday specials I have ever seen. But thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and stay awesome.